Welcome to everyone at home and here in our studio audience to The Weekly Show. I'm your host, David J. Maloney. To my right, our house band here at The Weekly Show, the Mo Jiles Band. If you've never seen The Weekly Show before, keep watching. We typically feature one local guest who may be someone you already know or someone you want to know more about. And then we interview one big name guest. Tonight, our local guest is our very own, the Mo Jiles Band, who will be playing their single, Call It a Night. And then grabbing a seat on our couch here with us for some questions and answers so you all get to know them a little bit better. After that, this week's big name guest is the man who I personally consider the best pound-for-pound boxer of all time. I got a chance to catch up with Roy Jones Jr. offset to talk about boxing, acting, and fight promoting. We clearly have a fantastic show for you this week that you're not going to want to miss. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. And we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our house band, the Mo Jiles Band. They are going to be our first guest of the evening. First off, John, can you introduce all the guys in the band first so we can all get to know you a little bit better?
Yeah, for sure. This is Tim Stevens right here, lead guitar. That's Chase Hopkins, plays drums. Marcus Trevedich back there on the bass.
And you are?
I'm John.
You're John. John Cott, right?
I'm the singer, yeah.
The infamous John Cott.
Yeah.
So I understand that congratulations are in order. You recently became a new dad, huh?
I did. I did.
Let me see if we can get camera A to zoom on this little guy right here.
There he is. There he is.
The beef.
That's the man.
Check out this kid.
Yeah.
He's almost too good looking to be yours, huh?
Trust me, man. Everybody says it. You're not the first.
What's up with that? What a gorgeous looking kid.
His mom's a good looking lady.
So let's talk a little bit about the band. Tell us about the Mo Jiles. Where are you guys originally from, and where do you guys call home now?
I mean, we're from all over the place, so that's going to be a tough one to get into. We're from different countries, different regions, but we met in Pensacola, Florida. That's where the whole band kind of took fruition and kicked off. But now it's a little rough. I live in Houston due to the little beef there, and the guys all stay here in Biloxi. So we're.
Now, when people hear the Mo Jiles music, what genre do they normally think of?
It's a country rock thing. It's rock, it's country. It mix it together. It's got elements of both.
Kind of a little more southern rock, or
it's a southern rock thing because you know how country is now. Country is basically rock.
A lot of crossover now, huh?
Rock has died so hard that country's kind of taken over. So. We fit right into it.
Oh yeah, I mean you got guys like Darius Rucker and people like that were never John Bon Jovi, who were rockers that went to country. Robert Plant.
Went
from
David Lee Roth. Let's not talk too much about that.
That's an interesting one there. So who are y'all's musical influences?
Speaking of David Lee Roth, that's the reason I started music was Van Halen. When I was a kid, that was watching David Lee Roth and those boys. Sold.
My kid kind of went through a brief Van Halen phase because, well, I mean, he's played with you guys, and you remember he was in a Led Zeppelin phase then.
Yeah.
Then he kind of went through a Rush phase, and he went through a Van Halen phase. I think now he's kind of in a Pink Floyd phase.
Hey, that's a good phase.
What about you, Tim?
I've always been a Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones kind of fan.
It's the English.
Yeah, that is the
Milli
English.
Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli. Yeah, what's funny is another throwback to my kid. He was saying, you see these tribute bands? He said somebody should do a Milli Vanilli tribute band where all they do is just lip sync the whole thing.
I'd sign right up for it.
If you think about that, you can't mess that up. I guess you can't. You can't mess that up.
Until the tape stops, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you could make that part of the show, actually, if you think about it. What are your influences?
Oh, man, it all started with Black Sabbath for me.
Really?
As a young kid, listening to that music with my parents and stuff, it's just, I love it.
From
classic rock, anything from Black Sabbath to Pink Floyd to, some all kind of weird prog rock and stuff like that. It's crazy.
He's a dark man.
Ozzy get love, by the way.
Big Cat, what about you?
Big Joan Jett fan, Iggy Pop and all that growing up, so it's that whole genre. I listen to everything though.
How did the Mo Jiles come to be?
God, that's a long story. That's like 10 years ago because it started with way different members. I'm the only original member sitting on the couch, so these guys all just trickled in.
Now, you're originally from, well, you're from England.
I'm
Where
from
in
England.
England? Where in England?
All over England. I've lived there a lot, in different places, moved around. But Chelsea, South London is where I was kind of knocking around, playing gigs a lot.
So does that make you a big football or soccer fan?
I'm a Chelsea fan.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course, that would.
My granddad was a Chelsea fan, so I kind of have to be a Chelsea fan.
That would make sense. Funny story about Tim. Well, Tim, you actually for a bit of time you played with EMF, right?
I did.
For
Yes.
people who don't recall EMF, they did "You're Unbelievable," right? And so,
Yeah,
how did that come to be? How did you end up with that gig?
Okay, so I was on holiday in France with my parents, and for some reason I had a phone call literally out of the blue, and on the end of the phone was the drummer of EMF looking for a guitarist. And a friend of mine who plays drums in a few other bands, he recommended me.
So you guys probably got to play some pretty big venues.
Some pretty big shows, yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen some footage, and
Yeah,
I mean that was almost was just kind of not quite in the heyday, but just like
Yeah, there was one gig where we played with a band called the Unstoppable Sex Machine, Carter USM, and we were kind of rival bands at the time, and we went on stage. We had to go on stage in American football helmets because they were throwing like glasses with urine.
Oh my
geez.
God.
Like, yeah, literally.
No.
This is-
Because obviously EMF are a pop band. They're a
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like the Carter, they were like an underground band, so their fans didn't like us, and our fans didn't like them.
Wow.
It was like the Blues Brothers, right?
That's
The Blues
crazy.
Brothers
without the chicken wire.
They-
though.
yeah,
There
that
was
would
some
be their-
scary. There was some scary shows.
That's
crazy.
That's crazy. So you guys play venues pretty much from what, Houston to Panama City?
Yeah.
And you guys play a lot here locally in Biloxi, right?
We do. Biloxi's been real good to us. The casino circuit, all the clubs around here, they've taken to us for years. So it's kind of like our home away from home. That's why they settled here.
So you guys have some pretty loyal followers too. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys. I mean, I've seen some of the same people over and over.
Yeah.
Some of the places. In fact, you've played some parties for some pretty big names yourself, huh?
Yeah, we have. We actually just we just set up to go back out to California. This will be our fourth year. Fourth?
Fifth, I think, isn't it?
Fifth year.
Yeah.
Playing for UFC fighter Dan Henderson.
Okay.
Randy Couture. Those guys. We met up with them years ago, and they've been asking us to come play their parties in California every year. It's an annual pig roast, man. It's fun.
So we got a little fighting theme tonight because we got Roy Jones
Yeah,
Jr.
yeah.
later on in the show.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. So if people want to find out where they can see you, obviously they can go onto the Weekly Show
Sure.
website and click on over to your site. But what is, if you can tell us what your website is? And
It's mojiles.net, mojiles.net.
so after the break, we're going to come back and the Mo Jiles are going to play Call It a Night.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Stay tuned. And we are back, and we have with us our very own the Mo Jiles Band with their single, Call It a Night.
What's your name? I'm pretty sure I've never seen you in this place. So where's your man? And would you take a chance? Could I buy you one more drink? And would you like to go and dance? Yeah, I know you hear this from every other guy. Yeah, I've been drinking, but I ain't that drunk tonight. Don't deep between the lines, and I won't try to read your mind. The only thing we've left to do is say this feels right and call it a night. Yeah, call it a night. Could I get your number? Could I give you mine? Could I give you everything you were looking for tonight? I'm so persistent, I know, and you think I'm wasting time. I think you're faking, girl, I bet this is what you tried. Yeah, I know you hear this from every other guy. Yeah, I've been drinking, but I ain't that drunk tonight. So don't think between the lines, and I won't try to read your mind. The only thing we've left to do is see this wheels ride and call it a night. From every other guy. Yeah, I've been drinking, but I ain't that drunk tonight. So don't think between the lines, I won't try to read your mind. The only thing we've left to do is see this wheels ride and call it a night. Yeah, call it a night. Yeah, I know you hear this from every other guy. Yeah, I've been drinking, but I ain't that drunk tonight. So don't read between the lines, and I won't try to read your mind. The only thing we've left to do is see this wheels ride and call it a night. Yeah, call it a night. Call it a night. Call it a night. Call it a night.
Our second guest this week is a legendary boxer, commentator, trainer, rapper, and actor. After winning the light middleweight silver medal for the United States in the 1988 Olympic Games in a remarkably controversial decision, he began a professional boxing career in 1989 that lasted until just last year, spanning 75 fights with 66 wins and 47 of those by way of knockout. He is a multiple-time world champion in 4 different weight classes and considered by many to be the best pound-for-pound boxer of all time. I got the chance to catch up with Roy Jones Jr. off set to talk about boxing, acting, and fight promoting. Let's start at the beginning, because not everyone knows your story. You started training at, what, around age 10?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about training at that age.
It was good for me because at age 10, I was taught the basics. Being taught the basics, we did pretty much 6 to 8 hour days every day. We went from usually 5:30 in the afternoon till probably 11:30 to 12 o'clock at night every day. And on the weekends, we went even longer. We start at 1 o'clock or either noon, and we go all the way to 12 o'clock.
So you go to school,
yeah,
and then you come back, and then you train.
Oh, it's a night. My father had fought professionally, and I didn't know it. So he was a fight fan. So seeing him watch Muhammad Ali and be so excited about what Muhammad Ali would do gave me an opportunity to realize what Muhammad Ali really was doing. Mm-hmm. For me, I was a pretty good agitator at age 5. I could agitate the heck out of grown people, make them want to kill me. So when I first watched boxing with my father, I think the first fight I really paid attention to, he was watching Ali and Joe Frazier. Probably 74, I might have been 5. And I was like, wow, he's doing what I do. He can aggravate him, and he's using that aggravation to defeat him. I said, if somebody teach me how to throw my hands, I can do that, because that's what I do already. So I kept asking, and my dad would come in with the gloves. Sometimes he would box me at night, get on his knees and box me. And it was funny because me not knowing any better, I would spend my whole day at school trying to figure out how I'm gonna beat my dad when I get home. So it got so bad to where I would go to bed crying pretty much every night. My mom would beg me the next day, please don't box tonight. I'd be like, okay, I ain't gonna box. But about right around bedtime, I just couldn't resist it. You know, just I had to get the gloves and get the beating again. I knew I was gonna lose, but I had to try. So I guess over the years, that probably let my father know that, you know, that I wasn't opposed to not winning all the time, and I was still gonna try hard. Even if you beat me, I'm coming back at you even harder. And that's where I think one of the flaws we have in life nowadays is that people can't accept a loss and come back and be even more eager to get a win, or accept a loss and be willing to say, hey, okay, he got me. He was just better than me at that time. And that don't mean he a better person than me. That don't mean he's a better fighter than me. But, you know, he got lucky he beat me that day.
Any given Sunday, like football.
It's right. And some people can beat, I mean, some guys, the greatest lose, but that doesn't mean that somebody else is better than you. Sometimes guys like Ken Norton just have Ali's number. Ali's just always gonna struggle with Ken Norton. If you put Ken Norton over here and have him fight 1,000 times, and Ali fight 1,000 times, I'm gonna watch Ali 999 times. You put Norton fighting 1,000 times, I'm only gonna watch when he fight Larry Holmes, because that's the best pro fight I've ever seen as far as two heavyweights goes. The rest of it, it's Ken Norton. He's a good fighter, big heart, but nothing really that I want to learn or take to go on to the next stage with. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So when I talk about that, that's talking more about the entertainment value and what I learned as a boxer skill-wise. Ken Norton had a very difficult style, a very different style that I wouldn't dare even think about getting into, because the only person he really gave a hard time was Ali. He beat a lot of people, but that's because of his heart and how strong he was, not because of his intellect or his boxing knowledge. Ali beat people because of his mental intellect and his boxing knowledge. That's what I wanted.
And there's been a lot of talk in boxing about people who pick opponents that aren't as tough, and that's always been a conversation, especially for somebody who wins a lot. They always try to pawn it off on some of those types of things.
Well, they want to face less caliber opponents. Mm-hmm. It's like if you went around, you only took cases against lawyers that you knew you were better than. That doesn't mean you're the best lawyer ever. That means you're one of the smartest lawyers, because you don't challenge guys that you think might have a chance to beat you.
So you almost have to fight those fights in those circumstances.
Right. And I wish boxing was that way, because if boxing was that way, then you have to face the next best man.
Always.
See, nowadays they don't do that. Yet they all still want to compare them to the greats, but they're not facing the best people in their prime. So how can you compare them to the greats?
Yeah.
It doesn't really happen like that. You understand me? So.
Yeah, because when somebody's in their prime, I mean, there's a lot of people who say you're the best pound for pound boxer that's ever lived.
Tell you what, it wasn't because I ducked nobody. I wouldn't fight whoever they thought was closest to as good as I was, because if they thought he was close to good as me, I fought him or tried to find a way to fight him. And if I didn't fight him, it wasn't my fault, because I sure tried.
At one point, you were wanting to try to get a fight with Tyson, huh?
Mm-hmm. When I won the heavyweight title, I told him it's the only person I would fight.
When was that? Was that pre-jail Tyson or post-jail Tyson?
After. Post, yeah, it was 2003. When I won the heavyweight title, I told him the only person I would stay heavyweight to fight was Mike Tyson. I later heard Jay Prince say in a book that he had gotten Tyson to agree to it and had got $25 million guaranteed. I never heard that when it happened, because at that time I told him if it ain't Mike Tyson, then I'm going back down to light heavyweight, because I got to go back and win the light heavyweight title to accomplish what Bob Fitzsimmons did back in 1896. The only thing Bob Fitzsimmons didn't do was that there was not a super middleweight division. So he won the middleweight, the light heavyweight, the heavyweight, then went back and recaptured the light heavyweight. I won the middleweight, the super middleweight, the light heavyweight, and heavyweight. And I went back and still recaptured the light heavyweight title. So that's why if it wasn't Mike Tyson, then I was gonna go back to light heavyweight, which is what I did. But had Mike Tyson been willing to fight me, I would have fought Mike Tyson first. Then I would have came back.
Yeah, then you could have gone back down.
When I spoke to him, they said he didn't want to fight. So I said, okay, well, I left it alone. I immediately went on back down to light heavyweight.
Now, back to the regimen that you had when you were younger. Is that the regimen that essentially prepared you for the '88 Olympics?
To be honest with you, there was a place, and it's still there now. And I don't speak bad about places, but it was a fact. Saraland, Alabama. Mm-hmm. You had McIntosh, you had Saraland, and you had Mobile. If you want the toughest fight of your life, go to McIntosh. If you want to get beat by decision, go to Saraland. Because in Saraland, if you didn't kill him, you lost.
You're gonna lose. So if he wasn't knocked out,
he wasn't almost dead or needing a respirator to keep him alive, you lost.
You were never going to win by decision.
It was so bad that in Knoxville, Tennessee in 1986, I watched Sammy Jenkins win the Southern Golden Gloves there in 1983. I was under 16, so I couldn't fight in no way. He beat a friend of mine, Vince Phillips, and won the Southern Golden Gloves at 139 when I was 13 years old. I might be 14. I came back, I was 14. I came back in 86 to fight in the Southern Golden Gloves. Guess who still was there?
Still there.
Sammy Jenkins. Had to win it every year up to that. Guess what? If you don't knock Sammy out, you lost. Because Sammy was from Knoxville. Sammy was the gatekeeper. He had won it every year from 83 to when I got there in 86. So look, I get there 86, I go out there, I know I got to knock him out and beat him. First round, I go at him. It's a good fight. I thought I won the first round. But it was a tough fight. He gave him some good body shots. He fought his behind off because he could fight too, don't get it wrong. Second round, we going at it, he bust my nose. End of the round, boom, boom, boom. I give him an 8 count. Yes, I can hurt him. I go back. Third round, I come out, I let it all hang out. I don't get him. Well, he think, okay, he tired, he got me now. He pushed me against the ropes, started throwing body shots, right? Right when he threw his head with a body shot, I hit him with a left hook. Boom! He wobbled, straight back. Bam, head first. Knocked him cold. Won the regional Golden Gloves, Knoxville regional Golden Gloves in 86. Woke up the next morning, you know what the paper said? Sammy Jenkins defeats Roy Jones Jr. in the finals of the Do you hear me? This how bad this is though.
Yeah.
I done knocked the man out. Yeah. And the paper said I still lost.
Because it was already printed.
You feel me?
It was already they probably had to print the paper the night before.
They thought I was going to distance. They thought I was going to go to distance. If I go to distance, they know I lost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how bad it was. So there were several things that prepared me for it, but as a kid, Sarah Land taught me first.
That's our show for this week. Thank you to the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino here in Biloxi, Mississippi. Thank you to our very own Mo Jiles Band and to Roy Jones Jr. Please check out our website and social media pages to see how you can be in our audience, as well as what guests we'll be having on upcoming shows. Mo Jiles, take us home.